Mic check, mic check, mic check. पहला बार क्लोज हो चुका है हमारा सिडोजी बार। लेट्स सी दूसरा बार कैसे क्लोज होता है। मेरी आवाज दूर से आ रही है, अभी मैं देखता हूँ क्या पता। हाँ, नाउ इट्स मच बेटर। पहला फर्स्ट बार is a doji bar. Let's see how the second bar is going to close and consequently the third bar. हमने तो यार क्लोज एनालिसिस किया ही नहीं, हम तो बड़ी जल्दी में आ गए। ओके यार, ये 4 आवर्स के ऊपर तो डेफिनेटली it's a range on a 4 hours, taken out the low of the prior to 4 hours candle. हमारे पास जो बड़ा एक अच्छा टारगेट है which is this point. How far are we from इस जगह से? बेसिकली 60 पॉइंट्स दूर हैं हम लोग यहाँ से। तो बिकॉज टुडे इज अ चॉपी डे, तो हम लोग एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं अ स्कैल्प टुवर्ड्स द अपसाइड और अ डाउनसाइड। अगर मैं ऊपर की तरफ टारगेट करता हूँ, पोटेंशियल टारगेट इज फॉर बेसिकली 74 पॉइंट्स अबव अस, जो कि है हमारा प्रीवियस वीक हाई भी बनता है। अगर तो इफ आई ट्राई टू गो शॉर्ट, तो आई विल बी टारगेटिंग 730, but it's gonna depend upon how the 15 minutes are going to close. अच्छा, तो on a 15 minutes, we are below the moving average. On a 5 minutes, we have closed above the moving average. On the regular trading hours, we are above the moving average. So, why is it all contradicted? Contradiction is usually an indication of a ranging market. So, you can see why we are in contradiction. Or you can say that the market is putting an effort to move upside. But still both targets are अच्छा है, बुरे नहीं है, दोनों targets reasonable targets. जो 730 का target है which is also reasonable. अगर if I try to go long from this point, तो मेरा potential target would be around 851 to 861. अगर if I try to go short, my target will be around 730, but it's gonna depend upon the breakout of the range. So agar for example मेरी 15 minutes का range breakout towards the upside, I'll be taking a long. If it breaks towards the downside, I don't mind taking a short. Since we are in a trading range, मैंने अपने targets को control किया हुआ है, और targets मेरे जो हैं वो are basically reasonable. I'm not expecting like swing trades or more than 50 points from each trade. So the first bar closed as a doji bar. So this is what I'm talking about as I'm saying the first bar is closed. The second bar is within the first bar's range. We are going to close as an inside candle on the second bar. The first bar was a bullish doji bar, which closed right at slightly above the 50% of its own range. Yeah, slightly above the 50% of its own range. Let's see how the second bar is going to close. Keeping things in mind, the first bar, the high and the low of the first bar will be taken out. Will be taken out. That's basically an 80% chance. Second bar is also closed. हम लोग क्या कर सकते हैं कि we can test back to the moving average. जैसे ही हमारा ये gap close हो जाएगा, we can short up. अच्छा, now this two candles are closed. The first bar is 80% chance that this is not gonna be the high or the low of the day. तो वो तो हमारा that is closed, सही है. And we have taken out this for low of the first bar. The second bar was an inside bearish candle. The first bar was a doji, the second was a bearish inside candle, the third bar took out the low of the first bar. Now we can easily take out the high of the first bar, but keep the things to keep in mind, or the context जो हमारे जहन में होना चाहिए वो ये होना चाहिए कि यार we are in a trading range. So what happens in a trading range? The market makes two-legged pullbacks. So for example, if it drops towards the one side, I can take a short. What I have to be very cognizant about is कि यार मुझे अपने targets को reasonable रखना है. I do not have to basically aim for targets above 50 points or 30 points. सही है. तो अभी ये है कि we have taken out the low of the first bar and the second bar. So ये क्या हो गया हमारा? Let's see how this candle is going to close. Once this candle is going to close, we will be left with a 15 minutes candle. ठीक जब तीन candle 5 minutes की close होंगी तो obviously we will be having a 15 minutes candle. What I'm looking for right now is how the 15 minutes is going to close. Is it going to be a bearish bar? Is it going to be a bullish bar? Depending on how it's going to close, I am going to take a trade or the breakout of that specific time frames range. अब मैं वापस जाता हूँ. अब देखो हमारे पास 15 minutes was trying really hard to close above the 20 period moving average, but we failed. We never got a closing above a 20 period moving average on a 15 minutes respective to its own time frame. अब now see what's going on a 5 minutes. We closed below the moving average. So things are aligning according to the higher time frame trend. यार हमारी drawings कहाँ गई? Where the fucking hell is our drawings? ये आ गई. अच्छा जी ऐसा है क्या यार. अभी अगर तो फॉर एग्जांपल हमें क्लोजिंग मिलती है, लेकिन इजी टारगेट 732. हाँ इजी, दैट्स नॉट बैड. I take a short from this point. Yeah, it's a reasonable target. See, it's a reasonable target. If we get a closing below this range, I can take a short aiming for 735. If it closes above this range, I'll be taking a long aiming for 863. क्योंकि आज स्कैल्पिंग है, क्योंकि आज मार्केट का कॉन्टेक्स्ट ट्रेडिंग रेंज है, तो मैं शॉर्ट टारगेट्स या इसका मतलब है कि शॉर्ट रेंज के अंदर ऐसा नैरेटिव लेके चल रहा हूँ कि मुझे 30 पॉइंट्स 40 पॉइंट्स के टारगेट्स मिले. We took out the low of the first bar. Now we are trying to take out the high of the first bar, which is reasonable, not bad. Achha, 15 minutes is about to close in 31 seconds. Let's see how it's going to close. Either it's going to close above the moving average, below the moving average. स्कैल्पर डी कैसे हो यार? स्कैल्पर डी, अच्छा you show up every day. See, now the 15 minutes is closed. I'm going to mark that range. We've taken out the low of the first bar. Since we have taken out the low of the first bar on the regular trading hours, it's reasonable to expect this move because we are already in an always in long scenario. 15 minutes is closed. Yeah, this was the thing I was waiting for. It closed below the 20 period moving average. Yeah, okay. What am I waiting for now? I'm waiting for the market to close above or below this prior bars range on a 1 minute time frame relative to the 15 minutes. The range of the prior bar is 38 points. Since it's 38 points, I am expecting how much? I'm not expecting much. I'm expecting 20 points, which is not unreasonable, right? Even if like basically, if even if I try to target the closing of the gap or the 20 period moving average, both can give me 20 points. All I gotta do now is wait for the 1 minute to close above or below this range. तो मैं क्या करूंगा? I'll be risking 20 points to gain 20 points. It's as simple as that. Chalo, let's remove the clutter from our charts. We're getting supported from 718, 798. It's a good thing. If I want to go long, ये जो चीजें हैं या ये वाली जो रेंज है, ये blue range which starts from 804 should support price. Or yeah, it's reasonable. 20 points from yes, first leg, second leg, third leg. Now, what I'm going to do is to wait once the price close below 803, sorry, 782. तो मैं क्या करूंगा? I'll be taking a short. Depends on where it's gonna close. Since it's 20 points, I'm not gonna wait for it to close, right? Yeah, but apparently it's a range, right? Getting a long wicks relative to the body. We are getting two-legged pullbacks. The first leg, you might get a second leg. So it's all a range. But even within the range, I can expect 20 points. अबे ये क्या, इधर नहीं, this is wrong. I need to wait for a closing. This is not, this was an error. 782 should be the selling point. 782. अभी हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं कि वी आर सेलिंग दिस फ्रॉम दिस पॉइंट, 20 पॉइंट्स एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा हूं मैं शॉर्टिंग दिस. I'm expecting not more than 20 points. That was the whole point of. If it goes my way, it's okay. If it doesn't goes my way, yeah. So तो हमें आज कंफर्मेशन मिल गया. Like we have gotten a closing below the range. Now all I need is for the price to just continue its trend. अगर तो if it closes above any prior bar high, I'll be closing this trade, or maybe not, because 20 points is what I'm risking. $100 basically मैं risk कर रहा हूँ इसके ऊपर, which is scratch. So 20 points risk कर रहा हूँ, 20 points आ रहे हैं, it's all a scalp. दो मिनट रहते हैं इस 5 मिनट्स की कैंडल को क्लोज होने में. Yeah, I don't think. It's unreasonable trade. Stop loss is obviously above here. My take profit will be, yeah, it's somewhere here. Yeah, it can completely reverse from this point. This is a negative point. So let's see. हम लोग इस जगह पे हैं कि where the risk is really high. This potentially is the turning point. अगर तो if it turns around, yeah, it can basically come back all the way up. Now, so see, ये टर्निंग पॉइंट्स के ऊपर where the risk is high, the probability of the price is turning against me is really high, so वहाँ पे क्लोज भी किया जा सकता है और नहीं भी क्लोज किया जा सकता है if you are confident enough. So yeah, since it's 20 points, I am not really worried about this trade that much. So two things can happen right now. The first thing would be कि यार ये मुझे knockout कर दे और then it goes my way. Yeah, reasonable. The second thing would be कि यार ये if it comes down, but still I'm not really interested in taking a long as of now until we get a closing above this point. So अब ये जो कैंडल है I can mitigate my loss and close my trade right around the break even point. ये ट्रेड मैनेजमेंट का हिस्सा है. If it knocks me out, if it basically यार यहाँ पे आए तो it can get me out break even, और अगर नहीं आता तो नहीं आता. What can I do? Now this is a turning point. If it turns around from this point, yeah, it's good enough. If it doesn't turns around, then it doesn't turns around. अब देखो, I'm stuck in a trade, right? So what can I do? If I close the trade here, I am risking, basically I'm confirming my $30 loss. सही है, या तो मैं अपना टारगेट को ब्रेक इवन के ऊपर रख दूं कि यार फॉर एग्जांपल इफ इट नॉक्स मी आउट आई विल बी गेटिंग आउट एट ब्रेक इवन, और मैं दोबारा से री एंटर भी करूंगा विद द सेम स्टॉप लॉस, सेम एवरीथिंग. So not to get panicked when these things happen is the best thing ever. You see, now we are basically, ये इसने मुझे नॉकआउट कर दिया है मेरे उसके ऊपर, has knocked me out. I don't know यहाँ पे कैंसिल क्यों नहीं हो रहा, but same trade still valid. देखो नॉकआउट, दोबारा क्लोजिंग नीचे की तरफ मिली and I'm risking the same thing again. ट्रेड प्लान सेम है, मिटिगेशन, रिस्क मिटिगेशन हुई है हमारे प्लान में. मतलब फॉर एग्जांपल मैं यहाँ पे क्लोज कर सकता था कंफर्मिंग माय $50 और $60 लॉस, बट क्या करूँ यार, 20 पॉइंट के अंदर मैं क्या ही कर सकता हूँ. तो ठीक है, आई एम लेटिंग दिस ट्रेड रन, द आइडिया इज वैलिड, एवरीथिंग इज वैलिड, सो व्हाई वुड आई क्लोज दिस नाउ. मुझे स्टिल इट कैन नॉक मी आउट, बट आई डोंट रियली, no, I'm not really allowed to do anything, right? If it knocks me out now, I'll be just moving on with my day. I'll close the charts because this is all arranged, right? मुझे एक चांस दिया, मैंने बेसिकली यहाँ पे क्लोज कर सकता था, नहीं किया क्लोज. शुड हैव, कुड हैव, वुड हैव, राइट? अब मैं इसको यहाँ पे क्लोज कर दूं कि यार मुझे $29 का लॉस हो जाए इंस्टेड ऑफ $89-98. नहीं यार, ट्रेड इज स्टिल वैलिड, वैलिडिटी ऑफ ट्रेड इज स्टिल देयर. और ये वाला जो कैंडल नजर आ रहा है, दैट्स द 10 PM कैंडल. देखो मैं यहाँ पे डर के मारे क्लोज कर देता तो क्या फर्क पड़ता. देखो मेरा ये देखो, लुक एट दिस नाउ, ओके, सो मेरी ट्रेड जो असल में वो क्लोज हो चुकी है। ये तो एक बेसिकली सिमुलेशन है, लेकिन मेरी ट्रेड क्लोज हो चुकी है। इट्स गोना लैग। ओके गाइस, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर योर टाइम। अंटिल नेक्स्ट टाइम। मैं यार रोज ये टाइम होता है 30 मिनट्स 40 मिनट्स का स्कैल्प करता हूँ न्यूयॉर्क सेशन के अंदर, यही एग्जैक्ट सेम टाइम के ऊपर हर दिन आता हूँ, लाइव ट्रेडिंग करता हूँ। इफ यू आर इंटरेस्टेड, और मेरा विन रेट 80% से 90% है। दोस्त पीपल हु वॉच मी नोज के आर व्हाट आई डू। मैं स्विंग ट्रेड्स और स्कैल्पिंग लेता हूँ नैस्डैक के ऊपर, न्यूयॉर्क सेशन के ऊपर।